Welcome to episode 108 of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. I am Stephen Rothberg, one of your two co-hosts, and I am also, in my day job, the founder of College Recruiter Job Search site. We believe that every student and recent graduate deserves a great career and that it should be easy and inexpensive for employers to hire them. I am joined here today after a couple of episodes of him playing hooky or AWOL or whatever you want to call it. But my fantastic co-host, Peter Zollman of the AIM Group. Peter, welcome back.
I'm looking around for the fantastic co-host. Thank you. I appreciate it. He usually says much nastier things about me, most of them at least off camera.
But and most of them true.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you, Stephen. And I'm Peter Zollman. I am the founder of the AIM Group. We provide business intelligence, consulting, and conferences for online job boards and marketplaces, recruitment marketplaces. And we are joined today by Awoyemi. I think I got it right. He is managing partner of Fast Forward Venture Studio. He's sitting in Tampa today, but he's usually in Austin. A native of Nigeria who moved to the States about 6 years ago. And he's going to tell us why venture capitalists invest in job boards and what they want. So thank you for joining us. Welcome to the podcast. And we've already burned 2 minutes out of our 14. That's crazy. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to just give us a quick overview of your investing and VCs investing in job boards in general?
Great. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Peter, for having me. I didn't get into that by, planning. I got in that by actually being a founder of a job board myself, right? Back in Nigeria, I founded Jobberman, which is the leading job board in Nigeria and Ghana today. We had investment from Tiger Global, and we were eventually bought by the Ringier One Africa Media. And also, when I moved to the US 6 years ago, I joined Indeed. I spent 2 years at Indeed, leading the job seeker API team, and also as head of growth of SimplyHired. So I have seen job board from starting one from zero, and also being inside a large one from inside out, right? And I've of course had some fortune from being in that space as well. And what we see today is the fact that everything is evolving around what job boards and marketplaces look like. And this is one share of that, especially where AI is concerned. We think about the web from like Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, and we're talking AI now, right? In terms of recruitment and marketplaces, AI definitely has a lot of parts to play, and this is one a piece of that.
Interesting. So if we can, I'd like to focus first on sort of helping the viewers or listeners, if they were listening to the audio only version, sort of understand what venture capital is and why VCs are interested in the job board space. So kind of start at the top.
Got it. So think of venture capital as that big uncle, big aunt, right? Who, when you want to start a company, they say, hey, I like your idea. I'm going to give you some money. I hope you return it. And when you return it, I hope you make me richer. And if you don't, you're my cousin. I'm going to forgive you. I'm not something like that. So it's not, venture capital is not debt, right? It's more of like, I'll take a share of your business, but support you from the very early stages, whether idea stages or when you've proven the idea just a bit, which is why people love it. And also, it's made a lot of people rich, and it's also helped build some of the well-known companies that we have today, from Amazon to Google to Facebook, now Meta. So that's that. And
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, and so like why are VCs interested in the job board space?
Yes. So businesses are interested in job board space because when you think about business types, business models in general, job boards is one thing that, even though the form and factor might change, people will always need work, right? So it's a very interesting space. It's almost one of the largest spaces that involves people and also creates impact, right? And also there's definitely financial rewards to be gotten from there. Um, what the kind of job boards VCs are interested in, of course, has also evolved over the years from the days of Indeed, Monster, to now we're looking at niche job boards to job boards who are using more technology than ever to supercharge their operations.
Now, we've heard a lot lately that investors have lost interest in job boards because of the threat of AI. Yes, no, maybe.
I think the answer is maybe, right? Which means we really need to kind of redefine exactly what a job board is, to really understand where investors are looking at things from. So AI definitely changes a lot. So, for example, back in the day when we were building Jobberman, we had this goal of want all the jobs in one place, wanted to have every job, right? Aggregating them wasn't easy. Or when you think about technology like resume parsing, sovereign back in the day, today
Mhm.
that's far much more easier with AI than it has ever been, right? So, for example, from the venture studio, we just backed a company that they're going to launch in the next few weeks with AI, and they're starting with 1.5 million jobs on the platform. That was impossible 10 years ago. So, essentially, what you call the moat or a superpower, that's what's changed, right? But is there still space in the job board for investors to cash in? There is. And just to kind of shape the narrative very well, one job board that most people don't really think of it as a job board is Uber, right? Essentially, Uber is a job board in a way, right? People go there to get rides, people go there to get people to drive them. It's that straightforward, right? So, what's really changing is just that form and factor of what a job board is, and investors are interested in that new version of job boards.
Yeah, I think Uber is a really good example, Peter, of how the AIM group prefers to use recruitment marketplaces. It's sort of to define the industry. It's it fits very well as a recruitment marketplace. Job board, not so much, because the riders, don't really advertise their job. It is sort of because the drivers can sort of pick up that ride, but it's not kind of the same as if Apple advertises a retail job. So, question that I've got around venture capital, for especially again for the listeners, the viewers that might not be that familiar. My understanding is that it is much more popular amongst startups, around businesses that are just getting going. Is that true? And why would that be?
Yes, it's very true. It's true because venture capitalists also has their own. They have their own financial model in which they work, which is a lot about betting on an idea super early and then getting the returns in hundreds of multiples. So let me just kind of break that down a bit. So as a venture capitalist, right, my own fund, for example, we've invested in 11 companies so far, right? We already believe that between eight of the 11 might fail, right? And we're sort of comfortable with that. Our business model is comfortable with that. So essentially, we're hoping two or three pay us back, not 10x. Because if we pay us back 10x, we probably might end up not making that much money because of the ones that fail. We expect that one will actually be a breakout winner and kind of pay us back like 30x, 40x, 50x. As such is the business model of venture capitalists. So essentially, venture capitalists won't enter super early, right? Bet on a dream and hoping it comes out 100x, and that pays off for the whole risk across the portfolio. And that's why the word venture is being used. It's more like adventure. It's risky, right? But it's like we need to pursue those unknowns, right? So that we can also improve. Humanity can be improved overall, right, as we go on. As compared to a business that is more mature, where you already kind of understand how it's going to work, there are other sources of capital that can help there. Venture capital also plays in that space, but just a bit of nuance in terms of like terms, valuations, and whatnot as compared to when it's super early. People also wonder this thing about valuations. The way it works essentially is when it's super early, you can assume there's going to be a lot of cash flows that are going to come in later on in the future because there's like a large time horizon. And that plays into why the valuation might be high initially as compared to a company where it's already mature and the timing of cash flows is like next 2 years, next 3 years, and so then it becomes less valuable as compared to the when you compare to the revenue multiples. Yep.
So you started Jobberman when in 19
2010,
or 2000 what?
2010.
2010. It's
Yes,
okay. It's now owned by Ringier One Africa Media, and
that's correct.
you've seen a lot of changes. You went to Indeed. What do you see as the future of job boards? Everybody's going to need to find a job, but are they going to find a job on a job board, or are they just going to say, ChatGPT, find me a job doing this in here, in this community? What's going to happen?
I think we're moving close to that, moment of ChatGPT find me a job. We're already seeing companies that are doing things like that in exceptional ways, and they're doing well. From like the ideas of like swiping jobs, right, to the idea of just give me the right job. And though most of those kind of platforms fall into like very niche platforms, so think job boards for nurses, job boards for truck drivers and the likes, right? And now that with what everybody has discovered about the power of AI, we're also seeing a lot of experiments around the career GPT, jobs GPT type of play. We're already seeing it on the recruiter side, so we expect job boards to start happening it too as well. And that changes the whole model. So if today we're talking more CPC, CPA, right, the revenue model will definitely have to change, especially now that you can quote and unquote wave a magic wand, right, and the jobs that fit you appear to you, right? So we're going to see that. At the same time, we're also seeing candidates also use AI a lot, right, to apply to more jobs than ever before. So that might be something that might help job boards to stay, but job boards will just have to kind of work differently. Maybe it gets easier to get into a job this time around. Like we could almost just funnel you a candidate and the candidate just has a thumbs up to say, I want the job, or swipe. And then the jobbers now need to put more recruiting tools on the other side or ATSs that they plug in to build better recruiting tools to make sure they're able to surface the right candidates to the top. But essentially, the whole idea is this old technology on both sides brings us faster to the job or faster to the hire.
Peter, I think we have time for one more question. If you don't mind, I'd love to grab it. So, Opeyemi, one of the things I wanted to find out too is like for fast forward, for your venture studio, are you focused just on job boards in Africa, or that they have to have a tie to Africa, or does that not even really matter? I'm just thinking like listeners are thinking it's like, hey, I need some money. I want to reach out to this guy. Should I?
Yeah, for sure. Good question. So, for one, we've not invested in a job board that's focused on Africa. No.
Okay.
And there's a whole backstory to that. We've invested in two job platforms, right? One is called Source, Swipe, and Apply. Wonderful founders. The other one is called Hello.cv, right? Which is more like a career operating system. And they are mostly focused on the US today. They happen to have African founders. Some of the founders are African founders, right? Just founders of African origin, but we're not essentially focused on Africa as a region, right? For our investments, and we just don't invest in jobs alone. The jobs part comes from my own pedigree and understanding the space a lot, so we can identify the best founders and we can support them in their journey as well. So
whether or not they're in Africa, whether or not they have a tie to Africa.
100%.
Okay. So hopefully you'll get some nice leads from this conversation.
For sure. I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot
Stephen wants a piece.
Yeah.
We are totally out of time. Opeyemi, Stephen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for setting it up and hosting and all that good stuff, Stephen. And we will catch up with you again in about 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Thank you, Opeyemi. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Looking
Bye.
forward to
Cheers.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.